Come on, you Reds.
Hey guys, what's going on? It is Talk Frost TV. We are here with Neil from Tats TV. And so, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for me on, Dan. Ready for a game because ours got cancelled on Boxing Day due to COVID in Stoke City camp. So looking forward to Notts Forest game now.
Yeah, I can imagine actually. You guys are ready for a game. I mean, after our game against Huddersfield, I mean, we are probably due a few goals. But so, how you been this season in terms of like your performances and how things? I mean, I know it's been a bit of a different season from last season.
Yeah, we've gone from like a fall from grace. We've gone from last season getting to playoffs, going into 23rd in league and scoring 16 goals. We just can't buy a win at the minute. Obviously, we lost his captain Moet to West Brom. Obviously, his manager Ishmael. You'll know about Dave Murphy being at Notts Forest. He also went from RCO and joined Notts Forest. So there's been a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. And when Shop came in, he didn't really get backed. We didn't really replace his captain. Although we met Coley Woodrow as captain, we never really replaced, bringing back experience in what we were lacking. And it's gone on to show this season. Still got like young players in, new managers coming, Poyer, but he's having the same problems, same issues as what Shop did. Really, he's 7 games in, no wins. Coming up to January, and it's looking a long, hard winter at the minute. I just can't see where his next win's going to be coming from. To be fair,
Yeah, I mean, it sort of surprised me how it happened because I mean I know it happened to Forest as well last season. From the season before, we went from missing out on playoffs to like being bottom to end up staying up. So it's surprised how you guys actually like fell from grace. I mean, to lose like you said, you most of your key departments like Murphy and all that, then losing your manager and your captain, it's must have been quite damaging. Not damaging, but it's quite had a bit of knock-on effect.
Yeah, I said damaging. I said damaging because it's hard to see every week. We as fans, we all, I know that people get on about this Moneyball thing and about what's happening at Barnsley and getting young players in. I'm all for promoting youth and stuff, but you still need that old head on pitch. When we had Matty James in, he, 30-odd-year-old, he came in for the start of the season, and Moet went on to have a really good season. He expressed himself. We had Solbauer, another leader at back. He left, went back home because obviously he was going to end his contract, so he went on mutual consent. So we had DK in on loan. Dave Murphy had a big part in that, fetching him in from MLS and American International, and he came in. He started on bench a few times, but when he were on pitch, it didn't make a difference. But when you take them kind of influential players or manager out as well, it does have a big knock-on effect. And league's not lying at the minute; it's showing where we are. And I think if you ask the vast majority of Barnsley fans, if not all of them, they'll turn around and tell you that we deserve to be here. But we're not going to say, "Oh, we don't deserve to be here. We're unlucky." You've got to make your own luck, and we're not even doing that. Performances, you can play manager for so much, but as soon as your players cross that white line, they've got to take a responsibility. And to be fair, a lot of them need to be looking at the Sensing mirror and having no wonder about their own performance, what they're doing, because at the minute they just seem to be playing, but no urgency about it at the minute. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping this thing's going off on training pitch, but I'm wanting January transfer window to like open up. Obviously, it's sort of going to open up tomorrow, but I wanted to open up and see some kind of fresh players come in and try and rejuvenate in it. Whether it's going to happen or not is another thing, but I think we'll probably end up losing players first rather than getting players in.
I can imagine that, to be fair. I mean, it's quite funny. I mean, for you guys, to be fair. I mean, yeah, I do agree with you, and like the sense of like you can't always play the manager. I mean, it got to be some state got to be with the players because the manager can only do so much in the week, getting everything prepared preparing the players for Saturday or when the game is, but
Mm.
the players need to kind of like take responsibility in the performances to actually push on and actually implement what the manager's trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, they can do so much on training ground, and like I say, it's all good and well hearing good things in press. And when we do the press conferences and the media talks and all stuff, and we're saying we've been working on this and we're looking good, looking sharp in training. Then when we actually play, and it's like it's the basics. That's the frustrating thing about it. I mean, when we play Blackburn, for over-hitting, under-hitting, they couldn't even pass ball to basics, and it's like, when you see goals were conceded all from individual errors, but the worrying thing is that them players that are losing the ball or possession, we're not even tracking back, we're not even running or busting a gut to try and win ball back over a mistake. It's like hands on hips and or edit hands. It's like, oh, sorry, lads. It's like, I don't want to see that. I want you to see you run back. I don't mind you getting a foul away. Just stop, play up. But when we're just stood there watching it and then balls it back at net and we're like, oh, heads it hands. Well, yeah, it's your mistake, but why didn't you chase that man? Why didn't you follow your man? You can't, your manager comes on sideline and you see him irate, and even after the game, and he's like saying individual errors has costed him this over. So he knows about it, but what's he going to do to address it? You can go back on training pitch and work on it, but as soon as you get onto a match day environment, it's down to players on pitch. You can shout and scream as a manager all day long on edge of pitch, but if you're playing in midfield or up front or in defence, that is your job. And you can come in for. I mean, we scored more or less last kick in first half against Blackburn. One apiece, and to be fair, we could have been 3-4 knocked down at half time if Blackburn took the chances. But you thought, right, we've just scored before half time. We might come out. The team talk might be different. We might come out and express more. Started 10 minutes good, and then it was Blackburn all over again. I'm thinking, but what difference did that make? You'd have thought that goal would have been a bit of a springboard just to take it on, but it won't. It was same old, individual mistakes all the time.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, we was doing that under Chris Hughton to start with, start of the season. I mean, we was saying that we just weren't doing much, and unfortunately, it left to like Chris Hughton losing his job. So, and now we seem to be a lot more better in terms of with Stevie Cooper. Like, we're playing a lot more attack and wanting to go forward, and we're doing it with quite big intent as well with wing backs and the wingers. So it's a lot more different now to how it used to be back under Houghton. So it is quite nice to see. Which sort of players do you think Forest fans should be looking out for?
This season, I think all players have really been, I won't say underperforming or lacking confidence. Brad Collins is been having some good games recently. I know he's been linked. You see, players that I'm going to be mentioning like now, but these are players what's already been linked to like in January, which is worrying. So I'm going to say Brad Collins, Elic, central defender. I know he's a Polish international, but he picked up a knock against Blackburn. He got subbed off. Corley Woodrow, lacking confidence. I know he's his captain and that, but he's been missing for last 2-3 weeks, picking up a knock on his knee. So I'm not sure if he's going to be available. Callum Styles has been playing out at left, but he's been moved into midfield as like an attacking player, try and link up midfield and attack because we're lacking on goals. Carlton Morris is doing well. He picked up an injury first game at season actually against Coventry. Been out a while, come back, and is just starting to get back into his mould. So for me, players I'll be looking out for, such as like Carlton Morris, Izaka, if he plays, he's had some good games, but then he's like gone off at boil a bit. But again, I'm putting back probably down to confidence, not having a win. But I think you'd be looking at like such as Carlton Morris, Mads Anderson, since he took over armband by Corley Woodrow, and Brad Collins. And I think we've been relying, sounds daft, but we've been relying on his goalkeeper, and he's been man at match for a fair few. And when your goalkeeper's man at match, that more or less says it all, really. You want to see it as an attacker or a midfielder, man at match. But I think Brad Collins, Carlton Morris, Anderson, Styles can be in and out of the game. Again, it's because he's been playing about many different positions. he's like got to readjust and get used to it. But I think them bit players, I'd be, hoping they're going to have a good game, because me as a Barnsley fan, I need them to have a good game to try and bring out rest of players, to try and up their game. But I think them bit players I'd be looking at, mate.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Woodwell, he's that sort of striker that I know. Think Forest were linked with him years ago, like, and they all seem to have that sort of habit that he scores against Forest all the time. I mean, he scored last season, and it's one of them strikers that that you just got to watch out for, because that he just pop up and score a goal whenever he does so.
I think we being Met captain, I've said this a few times on my channel as well, is that I think we being Met captain, he was taking free kicks and corners and that. I think there was a lot of pressure on him. Obviously, when Moet went, we weren't Met captain, and I've always said this, I'm old school. I like to see as a defender or a midfielder as a captain that can see over a pitch. And for me, as a striker, I want to see Woodrow just point ball back at net and making some, a presence up front. But I think that's affected his game, and I think it's frustrated him deep down. I think it's frustrated him that he's not being as prolific as what he could be. I think he can. I think he's still there, but obviously now he's been linked with West Brom, linking up with Ishmael. He's a player that once he's got some goals, once he gets a few goals, the confidence is there. He'll take a shot on, but it's just struggle. It's a real struggle, and it's hard to see as well, because that you can see the frustration building up and getting away silly free kicks more through frustration than temper. That, you know what I mean? And it's hard to see as a player. And for me, when he's been having bad games and he should have been subbed off, they haven't let him play 90 minutes. With him playing 90 minutes, it's more frustration built up, and you're just going to explode, And for me, I'd just like give him a rest, give him a game out rest. But obviously, he's out injured like now, so who knows? He might come back if he don't go to West Brom. He might come back, and it might have what he needed. He might have just want to shake cobwebs off and come back, and a different kind of player mindset as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always said that Barnsley seemed to be that sort of like bogey team for Forest. I mean, last couple of seasons with like the results and that, it's always like I always said that Barnsley is like Forest's bogey side. So, I mean, I always remember that the season when we was in the class where we did win 1-0. At home with Watson scoring. I always remember that promoting game of the season where you guys scored in like 94th minute or something. It was really, really late. And I always remember it because I had a football bet and I had Forest to draw on it. And when I seen it was 6 minutes, like, oh, here we go. you guys scored, so I was like, absolutely devastated on the football bet. But yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, Forest are a lot more better equipped with Cooper. What the scoreline do you feel like is going to be on Monday?
I'm wanting a win. Obviously, I'm wanting a win. I'd like to say 2-1, but I just think Forest, because I've got a lot of time for Steve Cooper. I think our Forest are playing at minute, and where he took over from with the war from Chris Hutton. I'm just going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for one apiece. I'm hoping it's an entertaining game, which I would think it will be. It always seems to be a good game against Forest. Tight game, but it's a ground that I like to go to. It's not like all these newfangled, dangled stadium kind of things. You know what I mean? It's like a proper ground. My heart says 2-1, but being realistic, I'm going to go one apiece. And even it might look a good result to people in neutral, but even as a Barnsley fan, we should be wanting 3 points for position that we are. But take a point, it's a point gained. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going for one apiece.
Oh, nice. I mean, I think I've been saying this quite a lot on the channel this season. I mean, quite a few other people have been saying 2-1 just because quite a few of our games have been 2-1s this season. And I think, obviously, it's an home game anyway for Forest, so got to be trying to be looking for a win. So I do say 2-1, but then hopefully that Forest can find the scoring boots. I mean, after the Huddersfield games, so I just fingers crossed. So I'd like to say thank you. I will put Tax TV in the usual places, and so do have a look on Tax TV. Neil's very passionate about Barnsley and all that, so thank you for coming on anyway.
No, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. And it's always it's good to talk to other fans and all, get other perspective. And you know, you go on other fan channels and that, and they can tell you about their team and how their season. It's like comparisons, and then when it comes to other way around, when you come to our place, kind of thing. And it's nice to have a catch up and see where about in league. So no, I appreciate it, Dan. Thanks for having me on, mate.
It's okay. So I'd like to thank you for watching, guys. Hope you all do have a very good new year, and come on, you, Ed.